Hey YouTube, welcome back. Recently, I come across this blog post in the newsletter of the programmatic engineer that talks about measuring developer productivity, real world examples, and it has a lot of good points, a lot of great parts, and I'm thinking about putting this blog post into several videos. And what really takes my interest and what really interests me was the Google approach one. So today we will talking about the Google approach. So what if I told you that Google doesn't use just one metric to measure developer productivity? In fact, they reject the idea entirely. While most companies focuses on output like lines of code or maybe the number of commits that you have added, Google takes a far more nuanced intelligence approach. In this video, we will break down the Google's philosophy on measuring developer productivity. Number two, how their developer intelligence team operate. Number three, why they focus on speed, ease, and quality, and how these work together. And four, and most importantly, what your team can learn from it. And also, I'm thinking about creating more than one video. So this video it will be only about the Google approach. After that, there are maybe two or three more approaches that we could talk about them. And also, there is another approach, I guess, which is more suitable for startups. And I guess this will be the way more the most important video in my opinion. But okay, let's start talking Google. So the problem with one-dimensional metrics. So for years, companies have tried to answer the question, how do we measure developer productivity? Some look at how fast code is shipped. Others measure story points, story points, maybe tickets closed, or maybe the code churn by itself. But here's the truth: no single metrics will tell the whole story, and Google agrees with that. That's why they built an intelligent team called the Developer Intelligence Team. Their mission is to help engineering leaders make smart, data informed decisions about how developers work, how effective their tools are, and where teams can improve. Okay, so let's talk about the Google's three dimensions of productivity. So Google's teams believe productivity lives in at the intersection of three dimensions. Number one is the speed, like how fast your task being completed. Number two is the ease of use. Basically, the ease, like how easy is the process of for the developers. Number three, quality, like what is the outcome of the working that being done. So these three pillars exists in tension with one another. If something is fast but frustrating or easy but sloppy, then you're not truly a productive software engineer or you're not in a productive state. So let's take a code review as an example too, and let's apply on them all of these three dimensions. So first, let's talk speed. Like how long does it take to complete a code review? Number two, the ease. Like is the process was smooth or are developers jumping through hoops and like going backward and forward a lot? Number three, the quality. Like is the feedback actually helpful and constructive? By tracking all three, Google doesn't just measure throughput, they measure the experience and impact of the work. Okay, next, we will talk about the mixed method and how Google actually measure the performance and the productivity of the developers. So, how does Google collect this data? It's not just logs and dashboards. They use mixed method approach that combines both quantitative and the qualitative research. Like for example, we will measure using logs for speed. For example, maybe we will also ask people how fast they think they are going. Maybe also then we will maybe do a diary studies and interviews to see if all of that is if all of that is lines up. And this blend gives a flatter picture what's happening and how people feel about it. Some metrics can't be captured objectively, like technical depth, for example. You can't just count it. Instead, Google uses surveys to ask developers directly where pain points are and how much they feel that tech depth is slowing them down. Yeah. Next, we're not Google. We're not Google. So I guess you think about that. We're not Google. We don't have a developer intelligence team. What should we do? So that yes, you don't need. I guess you don't need Google's budget to apply Google's mindset. Like you can apply all of these dimensions on yourself and your small teams. Like you can start using speed, ease, and quality as your guiding principles. You can mix system metrics with surveys and feedback loops. You can talk to your developers, not just monitor them. Even small teams can run a polls surveys, like track down or track how long code reviews take, or simply ask what's one part of our process that's slowing us down. um, yeah, so final thoughts. To recap, Google doesn't believe in a single productivity metrics. They focuses on speed, ease, and quality all at once. They mix logs with surveys, data with conversations as well, and they understand that developer experience is a productivity. Whether you are a startup founder, an engineering manager, or a developer trying to improve your team's workflow, Google's approach is a reminder that measuring what matters means listening to people, not just data. And I'm 100% agreeing with this. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, give it like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and see you in future videos.